Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
Dude, I'm pumped for tomorrow. I don't mean to start off hot, but I got a 7 a.m. tea time.
That's nice.
Ooh.
That's nice, right?
Do they
And
come
you
earlier
wanna
than
know-
that?
I don't think they do come earlier than that. To be honest, I think we're actually earlier than they come because my buddy works there and we're golfing for free.
That's
Oh, yeah,
nice.
definitely.
Yeah, dude.
Well, of
That is
course.
nice.
It is Ramblewood.
Okay.
Yeah. If that does anything for you.
Don't know if I'm familiar with that one, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to get out there bright and early, and I'm going to swing that club. Maybe I'll lose about 4 balls, hopefully. Maybe nothing more than 4.
You keeping track out there?
Oh, I'm keeping track.
What,
the- Handicap?
yeah.
So, I
It's
got
okay.
a home course. Well, hold on, let me...
You're,
I got a
I
home
understand
course.
I'm about to get a preamble, but I just want you
got
to
a
know
home-
before you do it, it's okay. It's not your fault.
I got a home course called Crescent,
Yeah.
and it's a little shorter than big courses.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting like +3 on that course. That's really good.
Yeah.
That had me feeling like
You're the
I'm
guy.
a +3. That had me feeling like I'm a 3 handicap. No.
No.
I went to a real course the other day and I shot like +30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, I think with most things, you get to a point where you get good enough to understand that the only thing that matters at a certain level of proficiency is consistency.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And you know
Like-
what just threw a wrench into that for me?
What's that? Having a child?
I got new well, yeah. I got new irons and they're an inch, the shaft is an inch longer. So I'm grabbing it where I think I'm grabbing it normally and I'm just chunking.
Yeah.
Chunking because it's an
You can
inch
get
longer.
used to it. It'll be all right.
I choked up a little bit. Now I'm like, oh, okay. Choke up an inch. Now I'm back.
You're back, dude.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah, I think that's really all that separates the pros from amateurs at a certain point.
Yeah. I think I might be on that PGA tour next year,
Do you
dude.
think?
I think so.
It's like I look at it. I think, you know, I always see similarities between chess, golfing,
Okay.
jiu-jitsu, and
Mhm.
Counter-Strike.
A jiu-jitsu and a golf comparison is going to be interesting to hear. Why do you draw similarities?
Well, I think it is very mental.
I would agree with that.
It's it's surprisingly mental, especially for the golf to jiu-jitsu similarity, because they're both physical things. Chess, it makes a little bit more sense, but the way I've always described jiu-jitsu to someone, to like who, you know, a person that doesn't know, is that it's physical chess. It's
Okay, I can
anticipating
understand
moves
that.
and understanding move sets that allow you to be ahead of your opponent and setting traps and waiting for them, and you know, like that's the idea. In golf, you're really just doing that versus yourself.
Yeah.
But
So
it's still very much so, I think, in that vein.
Well, I heard in jiu-jitsu you can't think about anything else. You're in the moment. You can't have anything on your mind but what's in front
Oh,
of
you
you right
definitely
now.
don't. No, you're not. You're not thinking
In
about what's for
golf,
dinner in the middle of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. In golf you can, but you're gonna
You're gonna
screw
pay
yourself
for
over.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you should lock in on that jiu-jitsu like mentality and when you're playing golf, or else you're gonna get screwed.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely intense mental focus across the board for all of those things. And I think at any point, people can have moments of brilliance as an amateur in all of those things.
Mhm.
And the reality is you have a couple of those and you think to yourself, oh shit, tomorrow I'm going to be on the PGA Tour.
That was literally me before I played the course the other
Yeah.
day.
And
Yep.
then you get proficient enough to the point where you understand, oh shit, there
Yeah.
are levels to this.
Yeah, there's levels for
There's
sure.
levels. And
There's like
go ahead.
there's when I do bad, it's terrible. When a pro does bad, he's like 2 over.
Mm-hmm.
There's levels.
There are
Oh my
levels.
gosh.
And but it feels good. I think that's what makes them so, every single one of those things are super addictive because there are
So
levels.
addictive.
And you know, an amateur can hit a hole in one. It can happen.
I'm waiting.
I'm pulling
I'm
for you,
waiting,
man.
dude.
But
I'm
like, it's
waiting.
the same thing as me playing Counter-Strike in Face It, and I just hit something so crazy.
And I've seen you hit something crazy.
I be hitting some
Before.
crazy things.
You be
but
hitting some crazy things.
Now, if I could do that every round of every match,
You'd be pro.
then I'd be pro. But guess what ain't happening?
I like the
That's all
CS
right.
comparison for another reason though,
What's that?
and I think it's because nothing can put me on tilt quite like a CS match or having a bad round of golf.
Mm.
Secondary to that is nothing ruins a round of golf or a CS match worse than a cheater.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're all beautiful in their own regard. Because like when you have a bad time, you can almost always exclusively blame yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that aspect of it. I know when it's my fault versus not my fault, and that allows for the most personal progression, which becomes, incredibly addictive. Which is why, as someone who plays chess, plays Counter-Strike, and does jujitsu, I can't pick up golf, Slum. I don't know what to tell you, man.
It is a time suck. It is an extreme time. Well, that's why you get the early tee times.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I don't mind a cheater in golf because I probably would, but right now I'm the best in my circle. So like,
yeah,
do what you want to do, bro. I don't really care. I know when something funny is going on.
When someone's nooching.
Yep. If I play with people like my skill level, I'll definitely like keep track of everyone's shots. Like, you just pulled a Dugo over there. Don't be doing that, dude. Anyway, I'm trying this. Have you ever tried these?
What is that little guy right there?
I figure until you lock in a sponsorship, I'm agnostic.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right? Why not?
Listen,
So
I'm
this
not
is
saying I exclusively drink Monster. That's not true.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that. I'll throw down a little Celsius from time to time.
Celsius, super good. This is an Alani New.
Oh, I've had those. Did you get that at Costco?
I got it at BJ's. So
okay.
Last week they had the 28 pack of the Celsiuses.
Okay.
This week they had the 28 pack of Alani. So I bought this and they're delicious.
0 calorie?
15.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Tastes like wild cherry Pepsi.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I've had those, yeah.
Yep.
I get a little wild on the wild cherry Pepsi.
I bet you do, dude. I believe it. Because they are delicious and wild.
Yeah. Okay.
Abe, how you doing over there, dude?
I'm doing great, guys. I ain't no complaints. I'm not playing golf tomorrow, but I got plenty of other good stuff going on. So.
Me neither.
Storm, how about you, dude? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Real good. In this daily dilemma of I got too many things to play, too many things going on. It's a nice problem to have. I like when it storms, or when it rains it storms, and when it storms it floods. But I'm cool with that.
I like that. I
Let's
like
go
that
swimming.
analogy. Let's go swimming, dude. All right, well, you say we get into it, boys.
What you got, Abe?
Wait, before we get into it.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Those in chat, thank you for showing up. If you don't mind, would you kindly share this podcast with everyone in your DMs? I wouldn't ask you to do something that I didn't do myself before we started. Let's get into it.
Heard him do it.
All right. Well, we got some happy gamers this week.
Oh, hell yeah.
Really, it started last week and it carried over into this week. And I think we have a clip for that now. So roll the clip.
Roll the clip. Approved, brother. What do we got?
Well, the Switch 2 came out last week, and we shit on it a bit on this podcast. I'm not gonna lie, rightfully so. But what the Switch 2 did do last week when it released is it immediately shattered records. And by that it mean within 4 days, the Switch 2 sold over 3.5 million units worldwide.
5 milli.
Correct. In 3 days, marking it as the basically the highest ever global sales in 4 days of any Nintendo hardware ever. Also, it was enough to rank it the fastest selling hardware ever in the gaming industry in total. To give you a little bit of a comparison, the Switch 1, which was the previous highest selling console of all time, it reached $4.8 million in 4.8 million in sales in units in 10 months. So 3.5 million in
Damn.
4 days is quite impressive. And this thing is on track to do some real numbies for Nintendo.
How many do you think are reoccurring buyers? What would
Most.
you guys think? Most of them?
Yeah, I would say most.
The majority.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that much of an upgrade?
The reality, I think, for me is that Nintendo fans are Nintendo fans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's a seasonal thing, like it's the new Apple iPhone, but people still trade those up every season. So this is a pretty good amount of time. When was the Switch 1 released? Do we have a date on that?
Look at it right now.
Yeah, because this was June 5th, 2025. So
March 3rd, 2017.
yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
it's over 8 years.
It's been
So-
a while.
For
Yeah.
wow.
And it
Yeah,
and it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
But not exactly.
It's-
Don't let me. Is it a little bigger?
it is. The screen is bigger than the original one, I believe.
And the
if you look at
nunchucks look
specs.
bigger too.
I don't know if
Right?
I'm gonna be
Or is it
honest.
just-
I saw some reviews
Yeah.
on it in the realm of it being a handheld, and the ergonomics of holding one of those things is not good.
I saw
Not
your
looking
boy-
comfortable.
I saw your boy XQC say the Steam Deck shits on this thing with ergonomics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it
even,
wasn't just like a personal opinion. Like he's literally showing his hands on the thing and like, guys, look at the difference here. What are we doing? I find that weird, you know? But again, not unexpected. I mean, look at the N64 controller. It's not, you know, like Jesus.
Iconic controller though.
Iconic.
Iconic controller.
Ass cheeks, but iconic.
Do you find it weird because Steam is like they're used to keyboard mouse and Nintendo is like you should be good at controllers by now because your console.
Yeah, I mean, they just expect people to make it work, so they put less thought into it. Is that what you mean? Like,
No, I mean like you said, I find it weird that the Steam one is more ergonomic, and I'm asking like, is the reason because Nintendo, you're a console company, you should have
be able
the
to make a
pulse on.
good controller,
Yes,
but Nintendo
GameCube
really never has.
honestly they do make
GameCube was
weird.
The N64 bad, GameCube bad,
I
Wii
don't know if
obviously
bad-
bad.
I don't know if bad was.
I would say
don't
maybe
know.
their best controller. You ready for? I think it was a Game Boy Advance, maybe. That felt pretty good.
Yeah, but that's just simple. Though.
Check it out, brother. They're always
Mm-mm.
trying to be extra. That's the problem with Nintendo.
They're not trying to be extra. They're
Extra.
trying to be their own.
They gave
Which is
you
why-
3 grips for 2 hands on an N64. What do you mean
Yeah,
they're not trying
but
to be
that's-
extra?
Did you? How did you hold that controller?
It
I feel
depended
like
on the game.
we all had to hold it the same way.
It was
right?
dependent. It was dependent on
Depending
the
on the
game.
game.
I
Your
know,
left
but
hand's
Not
on the
many
middle
games
or the
use
left?
the D-pad. Not many games use the D-pad.
not many
which meant
games
it
use
was-
the D-pad.
Yeah,
So you were most of the time middle and right.
middle and right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's,
Okay. All right.
that's the
See, and
standard
that's
game.
fine
way to
because
hold
it felt good. And you know what? They have more functionality, so that's why all their controllers are different because they create games with different functionalities.
Yeah, but
Xbox and PlayStation, same controller, same buttons, same
The-
things.
the Switch and
Disagree
Switch
on
2
that, but-
controller, when you actually get a Switch 2 or Switch controller, it's an Xbox controller.
Yeah, it's because they sell it as a aftermarket product or like a bonus product that you can buy. Like, hey, if you want that thing to be actually comfortable in your hands,
Greasy hands.
in your greasy Dorito dust hands,
Super greasy. That's why they made it black too.
yeah. I mean,
So it doesn't show
Yeah,
up.
the grunge doesn't show.
Oh, dude, Nooch's controller, his white controller, his Xbox 360 controller,
Can't do a white one. That's
so
crazy.
crusty, dude, insanely crusty,
Yeah, that's no good.
disgusting.
You gotta wipe
Well
that
then,
thing down.
okay, so is it consensus that Xbox has the best controller then?
100%.
If they
The
really?
Xbox 360 controller. To be clear, the
360
Xbox 360
specifically
controller.
is the GOAT of all controller debates, including my own personal
And
preference.
that's what current Xbox controllers are modeled off the 360. There's a big difference between the
okay.
360 and the Xbox. The
Yeah, the
the
Xbox
original
one was
Xbox
bad.
controller was shit. Yeah.
The
it was shit.
Xbox
Okay.
One is very close to the 360. It's okay.
Is
Yeah.
this
Yes.
is this the Xbox One or is this Xbox 360?
That's a 1.
This controller's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this controller.
Those are all modeled off of the 360.
360 was pretty similar to that.
The 360 is solid. The first Xbox was the big round in the middle
was
glass
bad.
one.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
awful.
abysmal.
Okay.
And
Yep,
I think
agreed.
the PS5 or the PlayStation ones are in general a little bit too small, and the handhelds are at weird, stranger angles.
Yeah.
They kind of put your hand.
I don't
in a
like
weird
the PlayStation
spot.
one quite as much. I agree with
Yeah.
that too. And I have up right now a size comparison side by side of the Switch 2 and the Switch. People holding it in their hands.
Mhm.
It's substantially longer.
It's
the Switch 2. I mean,
larger.
Yeah, it's starting to get to the point where that's as a handheld that's getting obtrusive.
I don't know. I don't think so. Not for
Yeah, I think
these,
it's
not for
fine.
these people.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine.
They want the bigger screen size.
Mm-hmm.
They want to fit more resin there if they can. They want, the tech and the back end. I get it. I'm not mad about it.
I believe that comes standard now though too, with like a little stand on the back of it, even when it's not in console mode.
That you can standard before. Didn't it have a little kickstand, but now the stand is just different? I thought it had a little.
I think it's on. That's what it looks like now.
That's the new one, yes. But I think it had a little kickstand.
I don't remember it having a kickstand.
I don't remember it either.
Either way, what games are we going to see? Are we going to see a modern day Zelda?
No.
Well,
no, we're not.
No,
There's not a reason for them to make that like an adult Zelda game, because they will get the sales for whatever Zelda they make for like the next Tears of the Kingdom-esque Zelda game, regardless. And they don't have to switch up. I mean, I say that from their fandom, but I'm hoping that we continue to see that, because like the running joke obviously on the podcast is that Nintendo's kind of soft because they stay in their lane and they try not to compete, right? And so they do their own weird extra shit and lean into mobile, and it is what it is, and gimmick games, and that's fine. But now the fun part is, looks like they're going to have to give up a little market share.
Why do you say why?
I'll let Abe answer that.
Well, I got a couple of videos that'll show you why too, but the real reason and the answer as to why is that Xbox has actually announced a very long anticipated device itself, and that is their new handheld. It's called the ROG Xbox Ally.
And for clarity,
Rogue of Gamers?
The Republic of Gamers.
Republic of Gamers,
ASUS.
sorry. Dang!
ROG Ally has been a handheld that has existed for a while, but they officially have partnered with Xbox now.
Oh my god, look at that
Which
controller.
is an insane genius collab, IMO.
Oh my gosh.
So before I get to like some of the video stuff, I did a quick analysis and had a side-by-side comparison done of the specs of the ROG Xbox Ally and the Nintendo Switch 2 to give you an idea of like what the actual specs of these two devices are and what they're capable of. So essentially the Nintendo Switch, and I have it up on the screen, it's probably hard to read. Yeah, hold on.
Control scroll. There you go.
The Nintendo Switch, its CPU is an 8-core 1 to 2 gigahertz processor, with the ROG Xbox Ally is an 8-core 16-thread 5 gigahertz processor. The GPU performance is nearly...
by the way. Ryzen,
Yeah.
that's AMD, correct?
Mhm.
I'm a big fan. I don't even know what Cortex is. Is that Intel?
The GPU performance of the Xbox handheld actually has 4 T-flops compared to the Switch 2 in its docked mode, not in its handheld mode.
Damn.
Produces 3.09 T-flops. So it produces basically an extra T-flop more than the thing does when it's docked, not even in handheld mode, let alone a 1.72 T-flops when it's in handheld mode for the Switch 2. It has 4 gigs more RAM than the Switch 2. It has essentially double the storage capacity of the Switch 2. And its battery life is the only really area where the Switch 2 is outperforming it, and that's just because it's so much less
Stronger.
has so much less computing power on the Switch 2 that it's able to be run for longer.
What is the price comparison? Do we have one yet?
I have not been able to find an exact price yet on what this will be.
What's a base Ally now?
That's a good
I didn't
question.
even know Ally was a thing, dude.
Yeah, we've had they came out in 2023, something like that. We've had some community members cop, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
They've been very they've been pleased.
Okay.
You can get the original 2023 model for approximately $500 today.
In the same ballpark.
The more advanced model, like the really expensive one that exists, which has like a Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor, a terabyte of storage and stuff, is $800.
Yeah.
Okay.
Windows
Windows
looking at
operating
Switch
system.
for $499.
$499. Yeah.
Windows operating system. Can you go online and like?
Yeah, I mean it's essentially
Android
a portable
platform.
computer.
Okay,
I'm sure,
understood.
right?
It runs off Windows. Windows 11.
Windows?
Yeah, so
I wonder how much.
It's actually like a mini handheld computer.
So is that true for the original though?
I don't know if that's true for the original or not. That's how they're describing that this Xbox model is
I think
going
the
to work.
community members told me that the original was Android, but it makes sense. Like that was one of their things that they gave up was specific Windows OS with the Microsoft / Xbox tie-in. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I believe that this comes with some amount of Game Pass, does it not?
Gamecast.
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
The understanding is that the Game Pass will work with this. Yes, if you're already a Game Pass member, you'd be able to access Game Pass. It is an Xbox device, so you'd be able to play all your Game Pass games directly on this device as well.
Insane.
Once again, this is like essentially a mini computer.
But is it too much though? These games on Game Pass. I'm competing with the Skull on my counter back there. The Game Pass games. Is it going to be too much in this tiny little thing?
I don't think so.
You don't think
That's
so?
the point.
Could you play Counter-Strike on that thing?
Well,
Like
Probably.
I would not play any multiplayer experience on a handheld. I think you're being silly at that point.
Well, I mean, Game Pass is a lot of multiplayer stuff.
I think you'd be able to
primarily
run.
single.
Is it? Okay.
I will say.
Right.
I mean, like, there's definitely both, but I think people, when they are gaming on the go, they are not playing. They're not even looking to play the multiplayer stuff. It's enjoyable sit down time sinks during times where, and I think this is a big part of it, they're not usually gaming because they're traveling, they're on the go. If you're sitting down and you're gaming at your normal time, that's like, that's your prime time, post work, post school. That's when your friends are on. That's when you multiplayer game. But I think almost like the point of a handheld is to be able to game when you're not usually gaming. That's your single player game time anyway.
And especially this handheld is going to be the people like us on the PC. So if, like, it's a different session, like you're explaining.
Well, they're not just competing with Switch 2 also. They're competing probably more specifically with Steam Deck at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it all takes market share away from potential Switch 2, that's for sure. And I think if they do a good job integrating Game Pass with this thing, yeah, insane. Actually,
it's over. It's over.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason to get the Switch 2 at that point then is to continue to purchase it is because you're a Nintendo title
because you
enjoyer.
specifically only want Nintendo titles, yeah.
So
Correct.
this isn't it doesn't like you can't dock this. This is strictly handheld.
Correct. This is not.
And
this
why
is not
would you?
like the Switch 2? You wouldn't. I mean, it's realistically the idea is that you have an Xbox. Right? If you're going to have a docked console, your docked console is your Xbox in your entertainment center at home, and you're playing that when you're not playing this.
Okay.
And they're sharing progress.
Dude.
Yep.
I mean, I think so. Then they totally leaned into like the bulkiness too, because it's the Xbox controller and it's got some beef specs in it too. So they had to thicken it up a little bit.
The specs absolutely dominate the Switch 2 in its handheld mode. It's not even close.
Oh my gosh, man!
Interesting times, man.
Interesting times. Did it come out?
This is slated for they're calling it a holiday release for this year, so probably like November.
Whoa! What do you think? You gonna cop?
I could see it being way more value to me than the Switch 2, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Look
would
at
get
that.
something like this or a Steam Deck personally for my when I travel and stuff like that. When I'm on the plane looking to kill time, this would be what I'd be looking to use than a Switch 2. I'm just not that interested in the Nintendo,
No,
titles.
the Nintendo
cool,
library
dude.
is not interesting to me as an adult
Well,
right now, and that's okay.
That's kind of wild though for you to say, but I hear you.
I mean, what are they making that caters to me as an
Mario
adult?
Kart, Mario Party, Double Dash, Super Mario Strikers.
My question remains. All right.
All those, dude. Those are
That's
great.
actually been their complaint right now, though. Too is their launch titles for the Switch 2, or it's kind of Mario Kart.
Of course it is. Yeah, that's always that. Nintendo has 3 games, dude, that people play, and they were made 30.
And they're $80 now on
And
the
the
Switch
only
2. So.
the fun part, I'm gonna say it, dude. I'm gonna say it. The fun part of playing Mario Kart is being in the room and ostracizing your friends when you fuck them up, dude.
Yeah.
Why are we?
I know.
So what are we trying to do here?
Dock it.
It's a great.
Excuse me.
You just got to dock it, bro. That's it. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's a great
right.
drinking game.
Yeah.
And same with Mario Party. With Mario Party. You got to play
The
with a
same
squad
thing.
in the crib.
Yeah.
It's a drinking game console. You hang out with your buddies and you drink while you play the silly game.
That's literally the only reason I bought the Switch for a day and returned it was because I wanted to have game night at my house, and that's the console for game night. It really is.
Yeah.
It's the console. I wasn't gonna keep it when Switch 2 is coming out in 3 weeks. Why would I do that?
I
That's
hear ya.
silly. That's silly.
I hear you. All right. Well,
Good on them, though,
interesting
huh?
times, man.
Interesting
We'll see what
times. What else we got, Abe?
All right. So I want to jump over into some AI topics here because we talked previously about Google Veo 3 and kind of the AI video generation that's out there.
Mhm.
Well, we got a firsthand example this past week of maybe some of the dangers of having such easy access to quality AI, because we're going to jump over into the realm of Counter-Strike, actually. As you know, right now, some of you at least, the Austin Major is going on right now, the Blast Major in Austin, and one of the big teams that was in the major, they're out of it now, but the Falcons, with prominent players like Nico and Mondesi, they kind of were under attack from AI here because people were making scam AI ads to direct people to false giveaways, utilizing an AI version of Nico and other famous streamers on the team. And the ads were so real and so accurate that YouTube was actually sharing them during the broadcast of the major. Okay, so I have tweets here from Nico, who's basically saying, "Hey, me and the Falcons esports team are aware of these scam ads on YouTube. Don't engage with it. Don't enter into these giveaways." You can see that like they have these ads that are created and he's talking in them and stuff like that. This was not actually him. I mean, this was all an AI that generated these ads based on him. And it even got to the point where co-streams and major streamers that were co-streaming the event, they were having to put stuff out there. This is Flom, who's basically saying, "Hey guys, don't interact with these ads. They're fake.
God,
YouTube's
really
been
is
notified."
sponsored.
Yeah, this was during the co-stream on YouTube. This was during the actual official broadcast by YouTube on the Blast TV channel. Like, these ads were going out. These are 100% fake. They were never made.
These guys were smart. These guys were absolutely smart. They targeted the audience, and timing was absolutely crazy. Do we have videos? Like, can I see it?
I think they're gone. I can't get the ads. I haven't been able to find a version of the ads, right?
I'm sure they were good enough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, pretty wild. I mean, expected. Like, this is coming. More of this is coming. This is only the beginning of this, obviously. And it's a shame, but it's definitely a good reminder to verify from a source, like the person in said video, before you go and enter in some BS. So
Yep. And a good rule of thumb: if it involves crypto, stay away unless it's just buying Bitcoin into your hard wallet. That's it, dude. Don't mess with anything else.
that's all
Because
you gotta
most
do.
of this shit is, I'm Nico from Team Falcons. Just launched a shit coin. If you buy now, I'll get. That's literally what all of these probably are. I would
It's a big
venture to
percentage
guess.
of it.
this ad was probably a crypto thing.
I think there are phishing scams to get them to enter a giveaway for something and to get people to give up their information is what it seems like they were.
Information farming.
Yeah, information farming by like, hey, give us your email address, enter this thing, and you can win Team Falcons merch and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Also, shame on YouTube for not verifying these things and just putting them out there as an ad. Like, that's crazy.
The shame on YouTube is just the full automation of a behemoth with not a single person at the helm.
Yep. Yeah, because there's hundreds of thousands of companies that submit ads.
It's not it's so grossly automated that real problems don't get solved for years at a time from real creators. And it's disgusting. It sucks.
But it's people like this that ruin it for the rest of us that also do ads and benefit from the reality of you guys are ruining it for people.
Well,
you know what I mean? Don't do that scummy shit. All the way scummy. A little bit scummy's fine. Not that much scummy. Don't do that, dude. Fucked up. You're stealing someone's likeness.
Unlucky.
Yeah. And to couple all of this, Falcons did terrible in the tournament, which really
got knocked out by a team that should not have knocked them out.
Really?
They did incredibly bad.
The fun part of everyone rooting against Falcons is that they're a team. They are funded by the Saudis, and it's like it's money washing essentially through esports.
Okay.
And even aside from that, I think most people can at least get behind the idea that any team that is comprised of quote unquote superstars just because they're able to afford said superstars is an easy team to root against, right?
Yeah.
And so seeing them crumble, and I don't dislike Nico or Mondesi, I think they're great. But I think the concept of like the paid super team in any sports setting is kind of shit and fun to root against. And they got crushed unceremoniously well before they should have left the tournament. So kind of fun.
And I just incoming from the chat from two of our resident CS experts, Swaggy and Pocket, they're also telling me that YouTube actually banned the Team Falcons YouTube channel too, and not the scam one, because they actually banned the wrong account in response to trying to take out these fake ads. They banned the actual Team Falcons account.
Dude.
That's good.
Dude.
That's classic.
Crazy.
Classic YouTube.
It's absolutely crazy.
Silly YouTube.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, dude, back on the topic of like the ads and stuff like that, just beware, guys. Just beware. And I shit you not, like most of it is going to be crypto. So just as soon as you hear that, turn away. And if it's not crypto, just beware. Like click a link.
Yeah, we're in an age where it's at a certain point it's your responsibility, right? It just is. You have to do your due diligence and be aware of the shit that looms, Yeah. So.
It's a rarity that you'll click a link and that domain is different than the actual domain. It happens sometimes, but it's a rarity. So if they had like falconegames.com or whatever their real thing is, and then it was like something giveaway Falcons, that's probably not real. Sometimes it is, but just dig a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just dig a little bit more, because a lot of times what I'm seeing is either Elon or Joe Rogan. It's like, hey guys, I just started a coin. I'm like, no, you didn't, dude. You didn't start a coin. Elon did not start a coin. If you're falling for this, it's almost your fault. Joe Rogan did not start a coin. He's not selling dick pills. That one, honestly, you might have to do a little bit more digging. That one might be real. But
Joe Rogan dick pills, huh?
Yeah. Just do some, if there's shrooms in there, it might be real. Just do some digging, guys. Don't fall for this shit.
Shout out Paul Stamets.
And further that on this specific topic, when it comes to Counter-Strike, if you're watching Counter-Strike content, do not do anything that requires you to give away your Steam ID. They're trying to steal your Counter-Strike skins. That's what they're doing. Okay, so you're not going to get these free skins. You're not just don't give away your Steam ID.
It's unfortunate though, but it's the tale as old as time. If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
That's what most of this stuff
That's how
is.
they get you.
That's how they get you. And guys, most of the time, I want it to be true. Trust me, dude. Trust me. I'm there, man. I'm like, but it could be, right? This could be real. Nah, it's probably not. It's probably not, guys. Well, unfortunate. I hope they recovered. I know they didn't win that match, but hopefully they're recovered.
They lost a couple other matches too, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. What are you gonna do? Maybe ban the right account next time, YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else we got?
So this one was really cool, and actually, talking, we heard from some community members in the chat there. I guess shout out to another community member, Samantha. She's going to be happy that we talked about this one. But there was a little experiment done by an engineer at Citrix, and he basically, and it was actually ChatGPT's suggestion, but ChatGPT suggested that he play it essentially in chess. So this guy set up an experiment where he had ChatGPT play an Atari chess game against essentially the Atari engine itself. So he basically had an Atari 2600, which was made in 1977, by the way. The Atari 1977, or the Atari 2600. It had a CPU that had like a clock speed of 1.19 megahertz and 128 bytes of RAM. Bytes. The key there, and it had, so he had this CPU, this computer take on the ChatGPT learning model, and it destroyed it in chess. And I mean, absolutely demolished it. Reportedly, the ChatGPT was playing incorrect and illegal moves. It was misplaying the pieces, like constantly forgetting what the pieces were. It wasn't able to do basic pawn tactics and things that are common in chess. And this thing got utterly smoked every chance it could by a computer built in 1977.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to do this one's unfortunately not interesting to me because I just have so many more questions to ask because I've seen the capabilities of ChatGPT. I also know how it works. So it's my questions would be like, okay, what model was it? Like, did you train it first? Did you when you started the prompt, did you explain the rules first and stuff like that? If you just go in raw dog on a weird model, it might be funky, but I don't know. There's more questions that I'd like to ask about this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think like in general, right? A large language model isn't built to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, it's taken in who knows what as its rule set,
Yeah.
right? From anywhere on the internet. Yeah, I think I don't know if any prompt was used. Obviously, I don't know if it says it in the article or not, Abe.
It didn't explain if there was a prompt used or how it was set up. No.
It's definitely still funny, and just in the sense of like, yeah, tech from 1977 still has capability of playing chess at a relatively high level is interesting, surely.
Yeah, so it was given a full board layout, and it was switched to standard chess notation. But even with those things and it being given the video chess application that was in an Atari emulator, it was unable to figure out how to like move the pieces correctly, and it was making illegal moves and having to be corrected constantly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If this is like trying to convince me that ChatGPT is stupid, it's gonna have to try a lot harder, dude. It is what it is. I mean,
what AI models are being used for like logic-based stuff these days?
Well, I mean, the one that I use is 4.0, and that's the newest one.
Yeah, but that's ChatGPT, which is an LLM, right?
Correct. Yeah. Are you asking a different?
Yeah, I'm essentially asking what AI is used for like data logic. Most prominently, I would say it's like whatever they're using right now for some of like the CRISPR tech that we talked about and all of that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I assume that's a very, very, very different model.
I'm trying to Google some of them now.
I don't know, but there's also a lot of data crunching on these ones on ChatGPT too. It's like almost like not just an LLM.
Yeah,
like the way that it does stuff.
Would definitely be one that comes to mind.
But like, I don't.
I want to
I've
see Atari take
seen-
on D-Mon, dude. Walk in.
Atari versus D. Well, I looked up what an Atari 2600 kind of looks like, by the way. Now, if you buy like a, you could buy it from Atari. Like this is how basic this thing was.
That's great.
And I do get that these language models aren't built to do these types of functions, but I mean, you're talking about the most basic of computer possible that it went up against.
Yeah.
Go for that.
Presumably, it should be able to be smarter than the Atari 2600. But good for the Atari 2600.
Smarter. I don't think smarter is the right word. I think again, like Markstrom said, depends what trains it.
Yeah.
Like and I also, this might be a bold take, it might not be. I don't think AI is necessarily smart or even intelligent, even though it's artificial intelligence. I think it's fed a lot of information and it's told how to decipher and act. Maybe that's actually a level of intelligence itself, but I don't know if it's smart.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, you and I both look at it more as a tool than anything else, right? To be used as something that needs to be actively guided.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah, or else it'll just start hallucinating or making wrong moves in chess.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, ChatGPT has given me some wild responses before. I'm like, that's not correct, dude.
Hey, how about you lock in over there?
Lock in, dude.
Yeah, I definitely had ChatGPT crash out on me a few times.
Yeah, it crashes out.
Yep.
But I mean, I love the aesthetic of that console.
Dude.
It looks awesome. They have such a cool aesthetic
in general. Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels nostalgic. It brings it back. I've never seen that actually. I've never seen that.
You want a quick shout
Sure.
on that exact front? I got something behind me if you want to see it.
Oh, you got something? What's he got? He's walking.
He's getting that too. Shout out to Sam, our resident Atari person. We love you, Sam. Good job over there.
Oh wow, look at that.
Got a little Atari decanter and glass set from the homies over at Atari for Father's Day.
That's cool, dude.
That's really
very cool. Yeah, very nice. I like that.
I think we'll use this opportunity to announce that we are doing a giveaway of one of these to our resident fathers and single mothers of the community.
Wow. How
It's
about
very
that?
exciting, which I have a list of
This is why
already.
you show up. This is why you show up on Wednesday, because you get that primo info early.
Now, I just want to say that giveaway is not powered by AI. This is real. So we are not going to steal your information.
All you got to do
Straight from the
is go to our
source.
website, give us your crypto wallet and name
and your
number,
Steam ID.
Steam ID, and then that could be yours. That decanter set could be yours. Oh man, but that's awesome, dude, and I'm excited for that. I'm gonna have to join that.
Yeah.
We should next time you do a giveaway, maybe if they showed up to Plugged, they get an extra half a ticket or something.
Ooh, I like that.
Maybe. Just saying. Shout out
Perhaps.
to the people who show up on Wednesdays.
I hear you.
Shout out, dude.
Don't
Chess
convince
match. I
me.
see him. every week, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday. Good stuff. Or almost every Wednesday. You guys know the deal. What else we got, dude? Shout out to Atari. What else we got?
So jumping over to another big gaming company and their ongoing dispute with Apple, Epic Games. They have just won a considerable decision in their ongoing lawsuit from 2021 against Apple. So essentially, to summarize what this is all about, I think we've talked about this in the past, but Apple basically has in the past made it their right that basically anything that's done through the Apple Store, they can also continue to charge like an ongoing commission from purchases made in apps that were originally downloaded on the Apple Store.
If I'm
yes,
is that accurate?
I think it was
It's
a 27% cut.
Yeah,
is what it was reported as in 2021.
Insane, dude. Good on.
It's very large.
Good on.
But a judge has ruled in favor of Epic, essentially that Apple has no right to continue to do this. So essentially, the big things is why this matters in two cases. One, it's a major win for pretty much all developers on their platform because they can divert users away from Apple's pay cut when they're doing additional in-app purchases and stuff through apps that were originally downloaded on the App Store. Epic did this obviously because they have the Epic Games app and stuff like Fortnite and things like that, where they're doing in-game transactions. They were losing cuts on this. This also paves the way for Epic to return Fortnite onto Apple-based platforms, so the Mac platform, and offer the game again and their services through Apple. So it's a big win for Epic, just because it means Fortnite's going to have an impending return to iOS. It's a big win for anybody else utilizing Apple devices, because, or I should say, any developers utilizing Apple devices, because now they can get their apps on iOS, distributed on iOS, and don't have to continue to play this giant cut of their proceeds.
This is, well, first of all, congrats. I have comments on what this could mean, but Markstrom, you have comments on the Epic game specifically?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to give credit where credit's due. I think Epic Games continues to be a beacon of light in the gaming industry. They've obviously gotten theirs. They make a shit ton of money, but the reality is that they've earned it, and they continue to do good things with it. And they are actively pushing game development forward through what they do with Unreal Engine 5. And
the grants. They do a shit ton of grants, mega grants,
100%.
Epic grants.
Yep. Which is awesome and has a big impact on the gaming community as a whole, and what that means for, games for consumers moving forward, which is awesome. They have really given back to the Fortnite community in ways that most would not and have not over the years, when they become a giga giant like Epic has, outside of just the game development side, but they finally, created something that took over the world, essentially. They have funded so much esports and grassroots efforts, and having meaningful brackets, and FNCS and Worlds, everything that goes on there, and all the opportunities that they provide to creators who are on the esports side of things, but also shoutcasting talent, and also incorporating people who just create content in all of their work, which is awesome. Like, there's so many little things that they do that's kick-ass, and this is 100% just goes right on that list for the impact that, like you said, will exist for so many other small devs. It's interesting. I think, this is what ends up happening when you become, at least a semi-monopoly like Apple has. I think you start to lose your rights to abuse that. And the thing that comes to mind for me now is, when does this happen to Steam, who is also famously taking 30%?
Yeah.
And guess who is providing the only other meaningful alternative?
Game Pass, baby.
Well, Epic
as a platform, as a platform for games, Epic Game Store. Interesting.
Okay.
Taking a smaller cut and giving opportunity to, XYZ dev out there. So all very interesting.
And I think the big thing to note here with this one too quickly is just these small developers were never going to have the monetary power to go up against somebody like Apple. So the fact is, you needed a Epic Games or someone of that quality and that strength as a company to fight this for them. And that's exactly what they did. So that's where I'll give a big shout out to Epic on that one. They didn't have to fight this fight. They were making plenty of money otherwise. This is for the little guys.
Oh, they're the first ones through the gate, dude. So shout out to them. And they are the people's choice. Like, I would guess, or I would venture to say, that Apple used to have that, like Apple was cool. It's obvious that that's not the case anymore. And so they're the first ones through the gate. It's going to keep coming. And it's interesting because we talk about, in the gaming industry, we talk about developers don't take risks because they want to just secure that profit and take the money grab. But I don't think necessarily talk about what happens when a behemoth of a company loses a gigantic revenue stream. Like Apple is going to lose a gigantic revenue stream. What do they do about that? Are we going to see price increases in Apple? Are they going to lay off a ginormous team? I don't even know how their teams are segmented, but this is not a small revenue stream. This is going to be something tremendously big that they are going to face as a loss. And
maybe they'll do something really cool and stupid like Unity and try and make some like new agreement where they get certain cuts from whatever they're making, like to the side. You know what I mean? As like a catch-all contract for everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think that will be the case. You would hope that big companies like Apple learn from the mistakes of others, but yeah, it will be interesting to see. It is a big deal.
And it's two total different, in my opinion, it's two total different audiences too. Because like we've seen Apple flop when they did like the VR thing, which in my opinion, you're like venturing into our space now, and you didn't quite get it. You don't understand it. And Epic is locked in our space. They're doing everything right. So it's really almost like two totally different audiences too, battling each other.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's definitely
this is very
like
interesting.
Gaming versus normie space to an extent.
Yeah.
So I definitely hear you there. And speaking of our space, one thing that obviously impacts me and everyone around me is the fact that we'll no longer see exorbitant price hikes on subs and gifted subs to the Twitch app.
Yes.
As a microtransaction. And it's because I've had to say for I don't even know how many years, almost a decade of the Twitch app existing at least, that, hey guys, please don't sub or gift subs on mobile. It costs a lot more money. Wait until you get home to your computer or do it through the browser, please.
Yeah.
Well, I am not receiving that money.
Well, technically, we don't know if that's going to be removed yet. Only Apple won for them currently.
Correct. But
I think that's why it was higher. Apple was taking a cut of the Twitch in-app quote unquote purchase of the subs.
But that's not.
So Apple is charging a commission. Yeah, I know, but this ruling says they're not allowed to do this. They're not
Epic
allowed
or for everyone.
For everyone.
Are you sure about that?
It's on micros, in-app micros. I think is like
in-app micros.
Essentially what they're saying.
Okay.
The ruling summarized right here is that Apple has the judge has banned Apple from charging commission on purchases made outside of the App Store because of its ongoing anti-competitive behavior. That does not say specifically to the Epic Game Store.
Outside of app.
Okay.
Bang.
That's big. That's bigger than I thought it was. That's ginormous.
Yeah.
This has a massive impact.
Oh my gosh.
To Apple.
Whoo-wee. Epic just.
So we'll see.
Dude. Man, Epic.
Interesting.
I hope they don't have any skeletons in their closet, man, because I like Epic games. I really do.
They mess up. They mess up just like everyone else. But I do think that overall it's like a net positive, and they try to do well where they can, and that feels good because again, no one else does. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Huge. Let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah, man.
Love
right
it.
around the
Love
corner from me. Love it. Right down the road.
Let's do we have a high note to end on? I know that was high note, but do we have one
well, I got two. We could talk about some movie theater food or a cool little thing I saw that people could make themselves to get rid of mosquitoes this summer.
Movie theater.
Let's do that. Are you down with that one?
I'm feeling movie theater, brother.
Oh God! All right.
I got movies on the mind. I'm trying to, bro. The Phoenician
Scheme came out. Yeah, but you don't go to the theater.
Yes, I do.
Well, here's my question mark. Are you interested in seeing the Fantastic Four movie?
Hell no, man.
But
are you kidding
what
me?
if?
I won't even see the good superhero films.
What if though, Mark, you could go see that movie and you could spend $80 on this Galactic's large popcorn.
Now I've seen a Dune popcorn bucket that I would buy. So maybe.
Well, this one's mouth is closed.
Oh, L. That's no.
Why would they? Is this guy like? I'm sure he's the villain.
He's the main villain. He's the main villain of the new.
Does he have motion like that? Like, are people into him like that?
Never seen him in my life.
Never seen him in my life.
Purple-headed freak, dude.
He's a big comic book character, but this popcorn is listed on AMC's website as $79.95.
Yeah, that's stupid.
For a piece of plastic.
Filled with popcorn.
Absolutely ridiculous. Did they do this for Thanos? Like, did they make his glove? That's something I'd be like, yo, I'd get that one.
They usually do a themed popcorn thing. I don't remember if they did their glove. I'll see if they.
They probably didn't. But this is just, I don't even know this guy.
Yeah, I agree that the Thanos glove would make more sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at.
You're going into a Fantastic Four. I mean, this guy. Maybe the chat can answer more. Is this guy like big? Like, do we know him outside of this movie? Is it the comic book lore?
Yeah, I think that's what Abe is saying. Is that he's a big comic book.
He's a big comic book villain. He's a very large comic book villain in the Marvel universe.
What's up with his
He's one of
helmet,
the bigger
though?
ones.
Why does it have three? Why does he have two little things coming out of it?
For your
you
pleasure.
want me to give you some? You want some Galactus facts or something? I could find you.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Give me some galactic facts. I'm glad we chose the popcorn bucket, Markstrom. Now I'm going to get eaten alive in my backyard this summer because I don't know how to get rid of mosquitoes. But hey, we got this $80 galactic bucket.
I'm kind of stoked about it.
So Galactus is a cosmic entity who consumes planets to sustain his life force. So he's a major villain in the Marvel universe. Get some images here of what he looks like in the Marvel universe and comic books.
He consumes them? Like he eats them?
Yes, he consumes
rough,
the planets.
Damn.
Okay.
This is the tiniest picture ever of what he from
Nice.
the comics, but so that's the popcorn bucket's pretty accurate.
He's gigantic.
For better or worse.
He's also shredded, dude. Look at that guy, dude.
And I believe he's one of
Hot
the
girl
main.
summer, dude.
I believe there's two main villains in the Fantastic Four universe. It's Galactus and Doctor Doom. I don't know Fantastic Four quite as well as a lot of the other ones. So I think he's one of like the main villains in the Marvel universe.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. When this is out on TV or when I bootleg it, I'm excited to see The Thing because I really like the concept of The Thing, but I hope they didn't make him corny.
Okay.
I really don't. I really hope they didn't make him corny. And I actually really liked the Flame guy, Johnny Flame, I think his name was, or something, Johnny Blade, whatever his name was, before he was Captain America.
I hear you.
That was a dope character, dude. Now he's Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, I do remember the
Deadpool.
Jessica Alba Fantastic Four.
That's the only. Was there more?
They are in more Marvel films now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Okay.
But
Okay. I did see the guy from The Quiet Place and The Office.
John Krasinski.
He got shred. He was Mr. Incredible, and he got shredded in. I think it was one of the Avengers, maybe, or something with Wanda, when he just gets lifted up and just shredded into pieces. I'm like, oh my god, Wanda's badass, dude. I don't know where she came from, but she's pretty badass.
She's a mutant.
the Red
Anyway,
Witch.
The Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's a
Scarlet
mutant.
Witch. Popcorn bucket. Not gonna buy it.
I think like I guess my question is are we really gonna how long are we gonna do this popcorn bucket trend?
I think this is their desperate attempt to like get people to go to the movies because it's like a collector's item, right? So it's like get the fancy popcorn bucket
Don't
when
stay
you
at
go see the
home.
movie.
Don't.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
We need to put
then don't
asses and
charge
seats
I'm
in
gonna be
our
honest.
physical
You could
theater.
probably 3D print this thing for way
No
less than
shit.
$80.
Don't charge $80 for it then. Don't stay home. Don't make the ticket $20.
Yeah.
Don't make the
I
popcorn.
mean, I get it. I mean,
$14.
like, they've been doing this as long as I can remember, really. Like, you got the exclusive Mewtwo if you went to the Mew card if you went to the first Pokemon movie in like
I thought that was in a
98 or
Happy Meal.
99.
But that was
There were
included with
Happy
your
Meal
ticket.
ones, but that was
The gold.
different.
Remember the gold ones?
I had the gold. Yeah, of course.
Was that real gold?
And those were all included with the purchase of the Happy Meal or the ticket to go to the movie. This is like you have to
A
go buy an
separate thing.
$80 concession in addition to
Crazy.
that. They don't just give you this.
Oh,
It's insane. $80
Greed
is
knows no
absurd.
bounds, boys. I don't
They're
know.
gonna have so many extras of these. It's ridiculous.
I don't know, dude. You ever meet a Marvel fan?
I'm a Marvel fan.
Well, all right.
To some extent, like when they got the right budget,
They would.
they got.
Yeah, they do not. They do not claim you. Trust me.
You don't. You don't. You're not a fan of the superhero movies. I know.
No,
we all
I'm
know
not.
you don't like the superhero
I
movies.
think that they go ham bone for this shit.
The Marvel fanboys?
Embarrassingly so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Like enough to buy the $80 thing. Like I think that like I'm not. I don't think that they're stupid for making it $80. Like that's the problem.
You
Yeah.
think they're gonna
People will buy this.
This shit, there will not
That's
be
so
extras,
stupid.
man.
You
I
know
don't
what they
think that.
should do? You know what they should do?
What do they do?
This is how you do it. Okay. If you're gonna do $80, you do when the Avengers happened and Tony Stark died. Spoiler alert. Sorry if you didn't see it. However many years ago, it was probably 10 years ago now. They should have made an $80 pair of Tony Stark. What is that? They should have made
a Dune popcorn bucket.
A Tony Stark glasses, like good quality, nice. I forget what the new. It's not Jarvis anymore. It's a girl now. That Tom Holland or the new Spider-Man, he wears them now, and he talks to his glasses. They should have said $80. You get the Tony Stark Spider-Man glasses, and they're actually good quality. I would have waited just to buy them and not even seen the movie.
Yeah.
Like a popcorn bucket, dude. What are you gonna do?
Well, that's why I brought up this example. Slum.
Well, the popcorn bucket slum is 79 cents landed. So those glasses are not going to be. So
no, you're right. You're right. That dude,
they got 97% profit margin on this shit.
Crazy.
That's a fact. So
they sell 3 of them. And they're already in the black.
That's the Shy Halusi.
That Dune popcorn is a bit egregious, dude.
A lot of people don't know this.
Well, if you think about it, though, you pay $80 for this one. You pay $80 for this one. It's got multiple uses.
They didn't charge $80.
You don't have to just. I don't know how much this one was. I'll look it up. Hold on.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, Slum.
Don't look up how expensive it is. We're over.
It was $25. This one was $25.
Don't look directly in the
way
That's
better
not bad.
deal.
That's not
way better deal. Yeah.
$25 ain't bad, dude. Because you could stick your wiener in that thing. I know you already told us you got some game. You got a bunch of games on the horizon. We were talking this morning. I don't know if you want to splurt it out there, but you might be getting into something new. If you don't want to talk about, you don't have to. But what are you getting into, dude? What's going on?
Yeah, I think the potential for a little free to RP exists tomorrow after some Gray Zone, which I'm looking forward to. Get a little social interaction, the best part of streaming, IMO. And then, of course, Friday is Friday the 13th.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
and we're going to celebrate by finishing off the Midnight Walk, which is a horror game that we started last week. We played through the first half of it, essentially. We got the second half on deck for Friday, so I think that'll be really fun. And I think we might cap the day with a little Counter-Strike. So it's a good finish to the week, if you ask me. Catch all that at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
He's going pro. You heard him earlier. He's going pro in Counter-Strike.
You know it's on.
Abe, how about you, dude? What's coming up for you?
Well, I'm going to use all that, that jujitsu style mentality while I'm focusing on moderating the channel over at twitch.tv/Markstrom. So while all that fun stuff's going on, I'm going to lock in just like I do my golf game and my CS rounds, and I'm going to moderate to the best of my abilities. Nice. So you can find that over at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
Amazing. And you know me, you could probably find me at Markstrom's chat as well, especially because I've been at the computer a lot lately, which I love. And I'm excited to get into that GTA RP with you as well. So that's going to be really exciting. Also at twitch.tv/Markstrom. Markstrom TV or Markstrom?
Just Markstrom, brother.
Just Markstrom. We lost the TV a while back. Yeah. We did. I remember I still have my OG shirt. This one only says Markstrom, but my OG one says Markstrom TV.
It does.
I want to thank you guys for showing up. Most of you guys show up every Wednesday when we do this show, which is freaking awesome. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We have a great time doing this show. Would you kindly hit the subscribe button? If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, press the bell. Also, would you kindly share this channel with your mom, your dad, the fish in the fishbowl, the dog on the couch. Share it with everyone. And make sure they subscribe and press the bell as well. They might be scrolling, they might pop in, and they might see the Galactus popcorn bucket, and they might be like, oh, I'm a huge fan of Galactus. I didn't know that was happening. They're probably not going to say that, but they might come in and enjoy another topic that we're on. So it truly does help when you guys share the channel. We really appreciate it. We have a great time doing this show almost every Wednesday, and we want to share that great time with as many people as we can. Again, we do this show almost every Wednesday, unless Markstrom has a baby, Abe goes on vacation, or I have a baby. This has been another wonderful episode of the Plugged Podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Deuces.